Hello everyone and welcome to Season 3 of Pringleton Model Railway. Whether you're here for the first time or a returning visitor, it's fantastic to have you here and thank you for your support. This time we're going to be taking a close look at the Class 91 and our Intercity 225 set. It is going to be a bit of a bittersweet episode because during the course of this season we're going to say goodbye to this fella and replace it with something more in keeping with Pringleton. But for now, sit back, pour yourself a drink and enjoy. Welcome once again to the Pringleton Model Railway. Okay, so we are straight in here, but before we get stuck into the Class 91 and the Intercity 225, as I said a moment ago, we are going to be taking our first and last look at it because during the course of this season, we are going to be replacing it with the contents of this mystery box. So, huge excitement here in Pringleton, and all will be revealed over the coming weeks. Anyway, let's take a look at the Class 91 in detail. So here it is. This is the Hornby model, I think from the early 90s. And it was bought for the predecessor of Pringleton as part of it was actually a boxed train set picked up from a model rail show in Ringfield some 10 or more years ago. And at the time, it was £40 with the whole train itself and some track and a spare controller as well. And it was our first, well, one of our first forays into DCC conversion. So, you know, it's not the best model. It's not amazing detail, but it was a treat at the time as I was building up the layout. So let's take a look. The Class 91 loco itself in the original Intercity Swallow livery. Two very pleasant, I think they're Mark III or Mark IV coaches. Nice detail, again in the Intercity Executive Swallow livery. And then down the end, the driving van trailer. Very nice indeed, a little bit of a paintwork issue there, but a lovely train. And here we see it in the bay platform, sorry, not the bay platform, in platform 5 at Pringleton, ready to go. So it fits perfectly, and as we come back to the Class 91, you can see the cab at the rear. So it has on the top of it the catenary arrangement, and as I mentioned, this is going to get replaced over the next few weeks. And the reason for that is quite simple, because it's clear enough that Pringleton is not electrified and definitely doesn't have catenary. And of course, this is an overhead powered electric loco, which, you know, whilst it's been lovely to run, I've kind of worked out and realized that I want a bit more authenticity on the layout. So this is going to be the one that is going to be replaced with something else, but it's going to go with good memories. So let's now take a look inside to see what we did to make this Class 91 even better than when it was picked up from that show. Okay, so we've got the body off to reveal the innards, and it's not a complicated setup, but we did three things to bring it up to speed, because when it was purchased, it was a rough runner with its old, I think 3-pole Ringfield motor. So here we have done the classic CD-ROM motor conversion. So it still retains all of the original gearing, but the Ringfield motor has been replaced with a CD-ROM motor and one of the adapters which you can easily pick up on eBay or whatnot. And the change to the running effect, or the running of the loco, was night and day. Absolutely fantastic. So to be honest, it feels and behaves almost like a brand new loco in that sense. The other change, of course, here was the DCC conversion. So I did wire in a socket there rather than hardwiring it. And here we have the chip itself, which was, for some reason I can't remember, it's actually a Bachmann DCC chip, which runs really well. And the finale, the thing which is the total game changer on some of these older locos, was the addition of a stay alive. And this is actually a Lay's DCC stay alive, which was a right result because by a stroke of luck, the Bachmann DCC chip here does have connections for the stay alive. So I was able to wire that directly in. Now, obviously there are modelers out there who will advocate putting on extra pickups and doing other work on older locos to improve their running, and that's all fantastic. For me, the simplest and easiest way of bringing them up to a more modern standard and actually to make them more enjoyable to run is simply to add a stay alive. It's fine on this one because it has decent steel wheels. The older Lima locos particularly, the other thing to do is to change the brass wheels for the steel or whatever it is. But here, that stay alive, I think, probably about 10 or 12 pounds, plus the DCC conversion, plus the CD-ROM motor replacement, is a game changer in terms of running. So before we do anything else, let's take a moment to take a look at the history of the real-life Class 91 and the Intercity 225 set.
Okay, so the Class 91, or the British Rail Class 91 to give it its full name, is a class of 140 miles per hour electric locomotives. They were ordered as part of the UK's East Coast Mainline Modernisation and Electrification programme in the late 1990s. These locos and the sets they headed up were also known by other names. Firstly, as Intercity 225s, because of their top speed of 225 kilometres per hour, which is 140 miles per hour, and secondly, as Electras. Now, as we've seen on our model, the other end of an Intercity 225 set is formed of a Mark IV driving van trailer, built with a similar body shell to the Class 91 locomotive, but without the cab at the other end. Now, these Class 91 bad boys deliver a whopping 6,480 horsepower, and much of their technology was derived from the research and operational experience of the old advanced passenger train, which never fully entered service. A total of 31 sets were built at British Rail Engineering Limited Crew Works, and over the course of their operational lives, they've had numerous operators and liveries. These included the original Intercity Swallow colours and those of GNER, National Express and Virgin Trains. The latter LNER franchise even repainted some of the sets in the original colour scheme. Finally, a fun fact. Locomotive 91010, now 91110, holds the British speed record for electric locomotives, reaching 161.7 miles per hour on a test run down the East Coast Main Line at Stoke Bank in September 1989. Wowzers!
So that's the detail and the history of the Class 91. Now let's take a look at how it performs out on the track with our musical showcase. So that's us done for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please take a moment to like, comment and subscribe, and please by all means share with others. Your support really makes all the difference. Until next time, take care of yourselves and all the very best from Pringleton Model Railway. Cheerio!